India against Middle East for supporting the terrorism. The news in detail. On the open discussion of the United Nations Security Council, India has strongly urged the parties concerned to completely stop support to terrorist forces like the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant and others. India has called for encouraging peace building in the Middle East along with the complete cessation of support for extremist forces. In a statement during the discussion on situation in the Middle East, T.S. Tirumurthy, the permanent representative of India to the United Nations, urged all parties to work constructively and in good faith to promote peace, stability and development for the benefit of all people in the Middle East. Tirumurthy also said that India has invested much in the peace and stability of the region by deploying its personnel as part of UN peacekeeping forces through humanitarian assistance, capacity building and development cooperation. India has assured to continue its contribution towards peace building in the Middle East, he said, emphasizing that Palestinian aspirations for a sovereign and independent state are yet to be fulfilled. India requests Israel and Palestine to resume direct negotiations at the earliest and asks the international community to take concrete steps towards resuming and facilitating these negotiations quickly. Highlighting India's stand on interlinked and mutually reinforcing challenges faced by the people of the Middle East, Tirumurthy said that the COVID-19 pandemic has only exacerbated the threats posed by political instability, long-festering conflicts, sectarian divides, issue of refugees and terrorism. India has been unwavering in its commitment to the Palestinian cause and continues to remain supportive of a peaceful, negotiated resolution of the Palestinian issue. India has supported the two-state solution as a just and acceptable solution to the conflict. Establishment of a Palestinian state living side by side in peace and security with Israel within mutually agreed borders should be achieved through negotiations directly by the two parties. Tirumurthy explained that any statement would strengthen the hands of the militants and close the door to cooperation, thereby endangering the security, stability and prosperity of the people on both sides. India supports Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas' call for an international conference hosted by the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres to include all stakeholders in the meaningful peace process. Similarly, the truce between Israel and Hamas has eased the humanitarian situation in Gaza. India hopes that the temporary truce is converted into permanent ceasefire, which can save precious human lives on both sides and create a conducive environment for talks. India also welcomes agreements for normalization between Israel, UAE, Bahrain and has always supported peace and stability in West Asia, which is its extended neighborhood. The armed conflict in Syria have accentuated the humanitarian crisis in the country, marred by decade-long conflict which has claimed over 400,000 lives, displaced 6.2 million people internally and compelled another 6.3 million people to seek shelter in neighboring countries. 2.5 million children have been deprived of schooling and 50% of infrastructure has been destroyed. Surging inflation, near halt in economic activities and severe sanctions have accentuated the humanitarian crisis. While we are heartened to see a return of normalcy to major parts of the country, we are also reminded of the enormous resources that would be required to provide urgent humanitarian aid, rebuild infrastructure, enable the return of the refugees, and restore a normal and dignified life of all Syrians, the statement read. News Desk, Karma News.